Hey crafty people, welcome back to my channel, and in case you're new here, I'm Sarah, also known as Craft Nerd because I'm a nerd who loves to craft. I do paper crafting, card making, junk journaling, and mixed media art. Let's get crafting! Welcome back. Today we are going to be creating some envelopes using waxed paper, and what I've got is I've got a bag of, this is from Honey Lake Bee Company, which I got online on Etsy, and I got an 8-ounce bag and I've been playing with it a whole bunch. And this is a printable by Liana Scraps, and you can't see through it right now, right? You can't see the writing underneath. When we're done with it, you'll be able to see through it, which is the magic of adding beeswax. Now, I think if you don't have beeswax, but you've got a bunch of like white, like clear candles, you know, uncolored candles, you can shave off some of the wax from your candles, and I'm just kind of spreading it out a little more evenly. And we're gonna do a couple different style of envelopes. And this I have underneath this is an ironing pad, and this is a cute little iron I got on Amazon, which I would not necessarily recommend because it keeps unplugging itself as I use it. And then I'm gonna grab a piece of, I think this might be antique or at the very least vintage book page, and it's got the Gothic German script, and I think it's from a dictionary. And I'm gonna use that to keep the wax from getting on my iron, although I will probably go in and just iron straight on too, but it means we're creating multiple pieces at once, so we're multitasking. And as you can see over here, you can't see the printable below. Over here you can start to see the printable down below. So yeah, see, the iron just unplugs itself as I'm going along, so I would not recommend this iron. I picked it up specifically for this purpose to be my craft iron, so I don't mind if I get wax on it. If you're using your like good iron that you iron clothes with, you're definitely going to want to make sure you keep some layers between your iron and the wax, or you're going to have wax on your clothes when you go to iron them next. Or just make sure you clean off your iron, like iron it onto something without any wax. So see, you can see no beeswax, beeswax. You can see the lettering below, can't you? Can't tell. Yes, you can. I was like making sure you could see it on screen. But yeah, I don't mind because this is my craft iron, getting the wax on the iron. So yeah, I keep adding pellets and going around. See, there's more pellets on this piece over here. So let's just wait a sec, let the iron melt the wax, and then spread it around. Come in and add some more wax in the spots where I don't have any. Just keep a little pile off to the side here. And there it goes, unplugging itself again. And this is why I'm only going to do one piece on camera where I show you the ironing part, and then do a bunch more off camera, because we're going to do a couple different styles of envelopes using our waxed paper. I just really love the effect you get. And I'm pretty sure I printed this on 60 pound. I used the Hammermill premium color copy paper, and I think I did this on 60 pound, so it's thicker. It's my thicker paper that I use. This is obviously a fairly thin piece of antique paper. And then I've got off to the side, I figured why not actually use an ephemera bit from a kit. This is from my Porch Prints Dragonfly Dreams ephemera. So I'm going to cut this out and also wax it so you can see what it looks like when you're using, you know, an envelope from a kit versus full on making an envelope from scratch. Yeah, this takes me a little while for two reasons. One, getting all the spots covered, and two, my stinking iron keeps unplugging itself, and so I have to plug it back in. Definitely not going to be making this into a envelope, but I will be able to use it on something. I'm very disappointed about that. That's a bummer. Got another piece I'm gonna use, but there's extra wax on this, so I'm just kind of smoothing it out onto yet another piece of paper. Got so much wax going on. I'm just basically remelting it and pushing it around to get the last few spots that aren't waxed. So yeah, we went from opaque to a little translucent, and I really like, and I like the feel you get when you do it too. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wax a whole bunch more stuff, and then we're gonna make some envelopes. Okay, so I did a whole bunch of extra pages because I really love how the beeswax effects work, and I realized this one's missing. Like I gotta do a spot over there on that one. And it's really hard to show on camera because I'm like, when I hold it up to the light, I can see the translucency, but I can't figure out how to do it so that I can show it on camera. So this one I think I did on camera, and one way you can see how it's translucent is if I take something else like this book page and put it behind, you can see through to what's behind it. And this one I did off camera, I think, but I just want to show you a before and after. So this is the exact same book page from the same book. And so there's the difference in what they look like. This one I put a page behind. You cannot see the page, what's on the page through it, or maybe just a little bit. But I put this one over and I can actually read some of the words through it. Same spot. So that's the difference between beeswaxed and not beeswaxed. And then I've got another book page, the German Gothic font dictionary page that we ripped. I was very sad about that. This is a FabiArt Studio printable, but again, you can see through it. Now the darker spots, you're not going to see as much through, but it's still, it gives like a silky smooth texture to the paper too, so I really like that. Yeah, this one's such a dark paper, you can't really see anything through except where the flowers are. So that's kind of cool. It gives you, you know, an interesting effect there. And this one's my Porch Prints Dragonfly Dreams. This is a Liana Scraps one, which where it's darker, you can't see as much through, but the lighter areas you can completely see through. And I'm noticing I didn't melt the wax all the way on this one. I'm gonna have to pull out my iron and do a little more melting on that. This one's also my Porch Prints. And I found another spot that I need to go over with my iron. I'm gonna have to pull out the iron here in a sec. And then I did a couple of the envelopes from a couple of my Porch Prints kits. This one's Garden Library, and this is Dragonfly Dreams. And again, darker spots you're not going to see as much through, but it still just gives a really cool effect. So let's start with this guy and turn this one into an actual envelope, since that's what it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead and just fold over like so. Fold over like so. Like that. And yeah, you're gonna get cracking on your folds, but I'm okay with that. It just adds a little bit more interest. And I'm gonna use our glitter glue. And there we go, one envelope. And I'm gonna pull something out so that we can see what it looks like with something in it in a minute. But let's grab this little guy. So, okay, you don't have a printable that has an envelope. You don't have an envelope punch board. This was, it's a full page that I printed two to a page. And we're going to create a super quick and easy envelope. We're just going to fold up. And that's about, let's see, 2¼ inches. Right, let's just see before we put the fold in. Yeah, we're going to crease that down. And then we're going to fold over about that much. So you don't want the top and the bottom to be the same size. See, I left a gap there so that we can actually put stuff in and out of our envelope. And now we're just gonna glue the side flaps down. See, you don't need any fancy tools to create a quick and easy envelope. There's envelope style number 2. We are gonna do something similar but slightly different for number 3. I'm just trying to find, here it is. All right, our Shakespeare. What I want to do for this guy is take some of this off. All right, first we're gonna do a little trimming to make this work. Because we're going to do a variation on this that gives us gussets on the side of our envelope. So I want to cut this bit off. So that is now about 1/2 inch. I'm just gonna make a little pencil mark so that we can have a 1/2 inch on this side as well. And I don't want quite so much white on the bottom, so I'm just gonna eyeball where I want to cut that off. I'm gonna grab my scoreboard for this, just because it'll make it easier. I'm not gonna press very hard, just enough to tell me where I'm folding. My measurements were a little off on the other side, so not quite equidistant, but that's all right. So what we're gonna do is fold those sides in. Oh, I was hoping, because this is super brittle paper, that the waxing it would enable me to make it into an envelope without it falling apart, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Then we're going to fold up from the bottom. I think I'm going to have to washi tape this. It's a little bit better. Like if I had done this without waxing the paper, it would have already fallen apart by now. And then we're going to fold down the top of our envelope. And that's where it wants to fold. That's where we're going to fold. And oh, nope, it didn't work. Well, you know what? We can save this with some washi tape, which is what we'll do. So what we're going to do first is we need to cut away some of the side bits and hopefully not have all of it fall apart. So we're going to take away the bottom flap here. And actually I'm gonna angle that a little bit. And the top flap up here, we're gonna angle that a little bit. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side and lose that completely. All right, let me grab some washi tape. I'm bound and determined to do this. All right, so I've got, this is Aall and Create Horticultural Layers. And the only reason I can tell you that is because it's brand new and I haven't opened it yet. So what we're gonna do is find the end. Put a little tape along here to there. I'm gonna trim that off. Probably gonna want to put a little glue. Yeah, we're gonna glue this down. Just gonna burnish that down. You know what? We might as well while we're here. Let's go ahead and do the other side, and I'll just trim that excess off. So yeah, I had high hopes that beeswaxing this would let me fold this stuff over without the paper cracking and coming apart, because yeah, I've generally only used this paper for collaging with because it is so very brittle. Now we can fold that over and not have it fall apart, and we can come over here and trim away the sides in. That can get folded up. We will glue it down, and then I am going to reinforce along here and along here with our washi tape. The reason I'm putting glue on, in case you're not familiar with washi tape, is it is designed to be removable. Like, it's a very low tack tape. So if you want it to stick permanently, you need to use glue. Now that we have reinforced all of our folds, we've got a cute little envelope. And when we put something in it, you should be able to see it through. Let me see if I can find something. Let's see how this works. And this is from Rach and Bella Crafts printable. And you can kind of see it through our envelope. It would probably show up more if it was darker, but I just like that little bit of translucency you get with the beeswax for our envelope. All right, set that aside. Now we're gonna do a slightly larger envelope. I'm gonna use this one, and we're gonna do a coin style envelope. I'm gonna flip it over. And we want to come in so that our ends match up. I think I like it that way better. How wide is this going to be? I just want to make sure it's going to still fit on a page, and yes, it will. And again, I'm going to use my scoreboard because scoring up at the bottom is easier with the scoreboard. So we're going to open this up again. And I usually like to do about a 1/2 inch, and I find it easier if I score going this way. So let's just score at that. Yeah, for some reason, my printer has decided to stop printing borderless randomly. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden it's not printing my stuff borderless, and I've got to figure that out. But yeah, this sheet is a little shy of its normal size, which would be 8.5, because yeah, it didn't print borderless and I had to trim off the border. So we're gonna fold that down. Then we're gonna decide, fold in, where do we want the flap on our envelope to be? I think I want to go about there, so I'm going to use my scoreboard again. I think if it falls on a line. All right, we're going to score at 7. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, and again, we're going to do some trimming. Let's just go ahead and do our fold here, because we do not want this or this. So, and the nice thing about the wax is you can really see where my score lines are, whereas with regular paper, when you fold it, it's kind of hard to see the score lines. All right, we are going to angle up like so. And because if you cut straight on the score line, this fold might have some trouble because it'll be bumping up against the paper over here and the paper from over here. I recommend doing just a sliver above the score line. Kind of do a little angle that way too, like so. So we're going to do that again on this side. We're going to come in and do a little bit of an angle above the score line, just to take out some bulk and make it easier to fold this flap up. And we're going to angle like so. And we're going to do the same thing at the top. Again, a little bit below the score line at a slight angle up. And this we're going to do slightly more of an angle because it makes for more interest on our top flap there. I'll do this. And go like so. So our envelope will go like this. That will fold up there, and this will come like that. And I think I want to do a policy closure for this one. And what we're gonna do is, I think this will be big enough that I can use my 1-inch punch to do that. Let's do a second one. And then we'll do over here as well. And we are gonna pick the two we like best for going on top. Definitely this one. And I think maybe do that one. And we're just gonna glue them together just to make it a little sturdier. Grab my hole punch. Let's just go ahead and punch through both of them at the same time. And then I'm gonna grab a brad. I'll go with these guys. Well, actually 2 brads, 1 for each. Okay, now I don't want brads inside my envelope, so I am gonna decide where we're gonna stick the first one. Let's go about there, right And maybe, let's see, we put this guy on here, this guy on about, let's go about there. All right, I'm gonna grab my mouse pad, flip it over, so I've got something squishy to poke into. Grab this, and let's make sure we don't go too far over. So yeah, need to go about right there. And then I'm gonna take, this is a couple layers of comic book board, because if I stick this in, and I got this idea from, I think it's Tina at Victoria Designs, put my brad in, slip this piece in, put my brad feet through, I can tighten it without it getting tightened all the way down so that I have space to wrap my twine around. So we've got that one there, and then this way when we close it like this, you can see, you can't see the feet of the brad. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna run a line of glue, and actually I'm looking at this and I think before we close this up, I wanna take a little bit more off the top to make it a little easier to get things in and out of this envelope. Because yeah, that was not enough of a gap. Let's use bigger scissors. And let's go like that. I'm actually gonna kind of flip it over here so I can see about how far down to go. There we go. That'll make it a little easier to get things in and out of this pocket. Now we'll run a line of glue down this side. And over here. And I'm going to do a little on the brad feet. And then we'll close it up. Making sure I didn't get any glue on the inside. And then we can glue the bottom up. I'm going to run a line along here. All right, now for our top, we're gonna do kind of the same thing again. We're gonna get our placement. Let's make sure they're in line with each other. So it needs to go there. Let me just mark it with my pencil. And we're gonna poke a hole. Take our brad, our spacer, our piece. And I'm just gonna glue this piece over that to hide the brad feet. Pull that out. Let's trim it down so it's only covering the brad feet, which will also keep it behind the circle so you don't see it through, because I was faintly seeing the edges of it through the paper. So now I need to grab some baker's twine, green here, and I hope it's long enough. Let's see. If I do that, tie that. Yeah, that should be. Looks like it was dyed because there's a spot that got missed, a couple spots that got missed, but I'm okay with that. All right, so we are gonna tie this around here, like so. Let's do another knot, just to be on the safe side. And then I'm gonna trim off the excess so that it hides behind our little closure. And then there we go. That was the perfect size. So that's envelope style number 3. And I got one more for you, but I'm gonna need to go grab something first. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got a scrap of coffee dyed paper and our ripped German Gothic font book page. And right now I'm just gonna decide how big I wanna go. And I think that will work. I'm just doing a little thinking here. I'm trying to figure out how. That's about a 1/4 inch, or yes, 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch. All right, so first we're gonna take this rough edge off over here. This is, how tall is this? This is 3.5 inches. So I'm gonna cut this at 3. Yes, because that'll fold up. Okay, so let's cut that at 3. This will make sense in a minute. And it is now 4 3/4 wide. And I need a 1/2 inch on either side. So that's another inch. Let's cut this at 5 3/4. Pull out our scoreboard. And we are gonna score it on 3 sides at a 1/2 inch. So 5 1/4, because it's 5 3/4, so that's a 1/2 inch that way. Then we want to go a 1/2 inch this way, so we're going to score at 3. Then we're going to score a 1/2 inch going this way. So 5 3/4 again. We're going to fold over our pieces and score and crease those good with our bone folder. And do the bottom. Now we absolutely do not need these little squares over here. So as we have been doing, we are going to take our scissors, which we put away, and that's why we can't find them. And again, a little bit of an angle takes a little bulk out, makes it a little easier for our folds to work properly. So we cut out like that. And like so. Get rid of those. Now our piece fits in just so, and we will fold up our bottom. I think I may have to take a hair off the side. It needs a hair less, just so that it fits in properly. Let's do just a little more. And we need to take a little off. You know what? We'll just trim along the top once we get it in place. So let's fold over one side. Let's just make sure we're in. I think we need to take another hair off. So that it sits in perfectly. And then we go up like that. So we are going to add glue to our side flaps. think I should have trimmed off a little bit more so it sat a little flatter, but that's all right. I like it. Let's go across the top and trim off that excess overhanging the top of our pocket. And to pretty this up a little bit, we are going to do washi to cover up the coffee dyed paper there, and I think I'm too thick. Let's go with this one. It's another Aall and Create, and it's Cobalt Swallowtail. It's okay because we're going to run a piece over here, so I'm not too mad at the fact that that's cut off a little wonky. Again, we're going to add glue so that this stays. And as I'm finishing this up, I realized the whole point of this was to do envelopes, and this is not an envelope, it's a pocket. Okay, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 styles of envelopes and a pocket, and ooh, that just ripped. Oh no. I think maybe to make this a little sturdier. Oh, look, it's ripping over here too. Oh no. I think I may run a piece of washi along the top. This is why I tend not to use my antique book page for anything, is because it tends to be on the brittle side. And apparently waxing it did not fix that problem sufficiently. So we're just gonna move this over and do a little bit of repair real quick before we stop the video. All right, let's try this again. So we've got a pocket and 1, 2, 3, 4 styles of envelopes made using waxed paper. And let me grab something real quick so we can see how it looks with something inside. Okay, I grabbed a few things so we can see how it looks with something in our envelopes. Let's see how this looks. See, so you can kind of see it a little bit through, let's see, what happens if we go this way? So you can kind of see there where we've got the embellishment in the lighter areas. You can actually catch a hint of what's in the pocket through our envelope. Oh yeah, it just barely fits. You can kind of see hints of it, like I can see the writing over here through the envelope. So yeah, I like the idea that you can get just a hint of what's in the pocket. Then I grabbed this guy just to grab something that was a little darker. See that? You can kind of see through. Try this one in here. Ooh, look, you can really see that one through. So it really all depends on what you put in the pocket, how dark it is compared to how dark. See, and you can get a glimpse of what's in there through that. So there you go. We've got 1, 2, 3 styles, 4 styles of envelopes. and a pocket using beeswaxed paper. So you can do it on printables, you can do it on book page. I did do some on gel printed pages for hashtag mixed media March 25, like towards the beginning of the month. And I've done it on, I've got some ledger paper somewhere that I used it on. So it works with whatever paper you got, and it gets you some really cool effects. So that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please do all the things that lets YouTube know you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. Thanks for joining me, and happy crafting.